Right, so what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about hair systems versus hair transplants and why hair systems might be better. So I'm going to basically be going through a couple of reasons why a hair system may well be more appropriate for you than a hair transplant. Number one, if you're not good with blood, hair transplants may not be good for you. I don't know if you've ever seen pictures of people who have just had a transplant. It's an ugly sight. It just looks like someone's gone at their head with a machete. It can leave scars, not so much with the newer transplants, but definitely with the older techniques of transplantation. It would quite often leave scars. And if the transplant failed, then basically the people with the scars, it would become very visible if they decided to shave their head. So I really wouldn't recommend it from that perspective. Hair systems are actually pain-free, which is awesome. Number two, you can actually choose what style, what density, what base you want with a hair system. You don't get that choice with a hair transplant. You just kind of have it done and hope for the best and hope that you have enough donor hair in place to basically give you a fairly full head of hair. With transplants, if it's one transplant, you'll probably be left with, shall we say, a thinning head of hair. You see the best results from transplants come from about 3 transplants in, and that can be very, very costly. You know, we could be looking at like between 30 to 45 grand, basically minimum. So over the course of your life, especially if you do this yourself rather than go to a clinic, you probably will save money just wearing systems alone, and you'll get a better result. Another thing that I think you might benefit from a system over a transplant is that it's actually quite empowering. You can really take control with a hair system. You don't get that opportunity with a transplant. In fact, people that I've spoke to that have had transplants have often actually said to me, I'm constantly worrying about it because I'm noticing the hair's getting thinner and thinner and thinner, and I'm having to save more and more and more and more in the knowledge that I will have to get a second transplant or a third transplant or a fourth transplant. So in terms of empowering, you can really take control of how you style it, when you change it, how you clean it, how you bond it. This for me, I find particularly fun. I know quite a lot of people do find it quite fun. There are others who don't find it so fun, but you can be safe in the knowledge that salons can do this for you if either you don't have the time or the inclination to actually do this yourself. But personally, I just really enjoy doing it. I enjoy the gluing, I enjoy the taping, I enjoy, cleaning off my scalp, and I love knowing that I can do this as and when I want. And lastly, with hair transplants, more often than not, you probably will not get a desired result, especially if you're doing one transplant. Say you spend £5,000 to £7,000 on that and you're not getting the desired result. I think that's a lot of money to spend on something that effectively you didn't pay for. Quite often I'll see people who have, shall we say, a thin coverage of hair on the top of their scalp after a hair transplant. Quite often a bald patch is left there, and as I mentioned earlier, quite often it just thins out again and you need another transplant. I think if you're very wealthy, if you're a footballer, or if you're a multi-millionaire or on several £100,000 or dollars a year, then yes, a transplant might be for you because the techniques have improved, it is less invasive, and you could probably afford to get 2, 3, 4 surgeries. If you don't fit within that financial bracket, I really think that a system would be more suitable for you. As I said, I'm not telling you this, I'm just saying this is my opinion, because you will save money over the long term. It is empowering. You can shape it any way you want. You can have whatever density you want. They're literally invisible these days, which is just, what more can you ask for? And also, you know that when your system is coming to the end of its lifespan, you can just get another one. There's no worry that it's going to get thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner, because you can just purchase another one. And you'd only be looking at spending probably between £200 to £400, which is about $250 to about $500 on a really good quality system, and you just need to spend a little bit of time training yourselves in the techniques as to how to rebond, how to clean, and so on and so forth. And there's plenty of videos out there on YouTube. I've got a couple. There's a couple of other guys out there who are doing some really good videos, doing tutorials and all of that kind of thing. I actually just did a tutorial on taping a system just last week, so you might want to check that out as a sort of starting point. So that's all I've got time for today, guys. I hope you did find it quite insightful. I hope you found it interesting. I hope it gave you some useful information as per when you're making your decision as to whether you're going to get a hair system or a hair transplant. Please do subscribe, guys. Do check out more of my videos, and I will speak to you very soon. Bye for now.